All right, we will go ahead and get started. First of all, I would like to say thank you for each of you for being here today while we celebrate some of these promotions and also celebrate sort of our history as well. My name is Melissa Foster. I'm the Director of Emergency Services for the City of Lynchburg. And on behalf of our department, I'd like to thank you for being here. And we'll turn the music off or down. There we go. All right. So thank you for being here today. This will be a brief ceremony, and then we also have cake and punch. So please hang around and enjoy that as well. Okay? This year commemorates the 50th anniversary of the first 911 call that took place in Haleyville, Alabama in 1968. The creation of 911 gave citizens an easier way to access those public safety resources. In 2017, there was an estimated 240 million calls made to 911 across the United States. In Lynchburg, there were almost 72,000 calls made to 911 last year. The technology that allows the 911 system to work is impressive, but the most extraordinary part of 911 is the people. This week, we are celebrating National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. As part of that celebration, we would like to recognize the accomplishments of several of our employees. Over the last year, each of these employees has contributed to ensuring the citizens receive services in an expedient manner, which is part of our mission statement, and that our public safety partners have the tools and information they need to do their jobs. So we're going to recognize each of these employees. I'm going to call them up in the order of sort of the date of promotion. Not that I favor any of them over any of the others, maybe Corey a little bit, but so, and then once we do that, I'll give them their certificate, and then if you have family here today that wants to come up, we'll get some pictures with you, okay? So I'm going to call up Taylor Rourke. Sticky note off there. So Taylor has been with us for almost 4 years now, and he comes to us from Pennsylvania County. He not Pennsylvania County?
No, yeah,
no.
That's right.
All right. I was close. Taylor spent most of his career on evening shift under the supervision and mentoring of Pamela Watson, but he's been successful even in spite of that. And so Taylor moved to midnight shift in November, and he was promoted to assistant supervisor, and he is now working under the direction of Will Hedrick, and we know he will be very successful under Will's direction. So thank you very much, and we'll have your certificate. Get a couple of pictures. You want your family to come up and get some pictures? And your family can come up, and we'll get some pictures with you as well. Everybody get your cell phones out.
Yeah.
I will say that Taylor, one of the things that really stands out about Taylor is the fact that he is always very flexible, and we have actually changed shifts on Taylor a couple of times, several times since he's been here in those 4 years, and he's always very accommodating, very flexible, and for this type of organization, that's necessary, and I really do appreciate that. All right, next is Corey Gillespie. Step over the wall. Okay. So Corey Gillespie actually came to us from sort of the private sector, and he had been honing some of his IT skills there and then decided to come work for us here at the city. He's been with us for about 3 years now, and actually coming up on 3 years in the next few days, actually. So he's been with us for 3 years. We hired Corey in anticipation of a long-term employee getting ready to retire, and we were right in the middle of this massive radio project and changing over to a new radio system. And Mo Younger had been with the city for almost 40 years and had a lot of institutional knowledge and wisdom about this radio system. And so we brought Corey on to try to absorb some of that information from him. And he has spent the past 3 years following Mo around, really learning the radio system, really learning about the radios, the mobiles, the portables, the programming. And we just cut over to the new radio system last July. And I was telling Corey the other day, if we had not brought him on then, I don't know that we would even be on the new radio system now, because he really did come in and really learned what needed to be done, helped us get a little more organized in some of that, and so he has been a huge asset to us. So I will get, this is in recognition of your promotion to Network Administrator 2, and so we'll get a picture. All right, Zach Perkins. And there is some biographical information about each one of these folks in the programs that you have today. So that's why I'm not really going into all of that, but please take those with you. So Zach Perkins has been here for
It'll be 7 years in June.
7 years in June. So Zach has spent his entire career on evening shift, but I'm not sure that Zach really would prefer the pace on any of the other shifts. He prefers to be busy. He likes to be right in the middle of what's going on. He's also been a huge asset on evening shift with the technology part as well, that he really seems to enjoy that. He is able to dig into CAD sometimes and find answers and teach us new things, and we really appreciated that. For this type of position, you really have to have that curiosity, and you also have to be willing to share that information. And Zach is always very gracious in sharing what he knows with other people. We've had him sort of step up and help out with some of the CAD maintenance in the sense of, as new changes come out, he's sort of sending those out to the department. And so he really has shown that he is ready to step up and be an assistant supervisor now. So we're going to leave him with Pam Watson on evening shift, and we'll see how that works out. So, and if you need a change, then let us know. We'll see what we can do there. So, absolutely. So, well, and as we were promoting Zach, normally we move folks to different shifts so that they are not supervising the people they've worked so closely with. But Zach really has stepped up and become a leader on evening shift and has sort of become that informal leader. And we felt like he is more than capable of remaining there and supervising that work group when Pam is not there. And again, I think he enjoys the pace of that as well. So you will be promoted to assistant supervisor. So we will get some pictures here. Amy? You got it? So this is Zach's mom and dad, and we'll get them to come up and take some pictures with him. And I want to thank the family members that were able to be here today. I really appreciate your support. I know that these jobs can be very taxing and time consuming, and that they can place a lot of extra burden on a family sometimes because of the hours, because of the overtime, and because of the work itself. And so I really do appreciate the family support for these folks as they take on additional responsibilities. And to all of our employees, I'd just like to say thank you, that this is 1 week that we stop and take time to recognize our employees that are in Public Safety Communications, and I appreciate all of the additional hours. I appreciate you continuing to push forward even when there are staffing shortages, when there is extra overtime that you really don't want to work, but you understand the mission of what we're doing. So let's give you a round of applause. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming out today. Thank you for participating. And like I said, there is cake and there is punch that our supervisors have organized all of that and put that together. And I'd also like to say thank you to Darlene Pinnell and Piper Vandeperry for putting together our programs and making sure that I was organized and had all the stuff that I needed for today as well. All right? So thank y'all very much for coming out.